Oh, good morning, everybody. It's Monday, September 15th, 2025. And after the absolute dumpster fire that was not only week one of the NFL season, but all of the nonsense and bullshittery that went down last week. Oh, oh. Oh, if only I could emphasize to you the magnitude of the emotional burden that your Detroit Lions carried for one individual in this podcast studio. I don't know about you guys listening. Hey, everybody, how you doing? And welcome to the Hat and Beard Show. I'm Hat and Beard, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We are talking NFL Week 2 roundup. And, of course, I don't want to use the original phrase that I was going to use right there. I decided to catch it because it wouldn't quite be appropriate yet at this time. But let's just say there was a whooping, and I'm emphasizing on the H. T-Rexy. Oh, T-Rexy. He's putting the H in front of the W here. I'm in a business now. Whooping. Down at Ford Field when, Sama Benedict Arnold. Oh, Ben Johnson. Ben, I can't get past the 20 plays that I script Johnson. Ben and his boy, Fingertips Magoo, Giggle Williams came to town. Boy, history sure does have a way of repeating itself. Boy, Chicago looked clean, crisp, and ready to put up a fight early on. Very similar to week 1, Monday night against the Minnesota Queens. But heavy is the head that wears the crown. Guys, Ben Johnson needs to learn. Just because you come from a Dan Campbell tree do not mean you are a Dan Campbell. Stop trying to be Dan Campbell. Be Ben Johnson. That's something that Ben Johnson's going to have to learn is he is a poor imitation of Dan Campbell. So he needs to stop trying to be Dan Campbell and just come to the realization that he is Fat Patricia of the Chicago Bears. What a beautiful beat down it was yesterday. It just felt great, right? You know, everything just felt good. Obviously. Shout out chat. I can't remember if it was Maureen or Brandy Coffee, but somebody suggested that I should have put in the old Brock Wright touchdown on my parlays. And, I thought that I knew better. I was like, you're fucking nuts. And myself, as well as the collective mind of the chat, was able to talk myself out of putting Brock Wright in for an anytime touchdown. I'm such a smart lad. I'm a little lad who loves berries in cream. Yeah, my mom called it, you guys. She called the 5 touchdowns. She was right on all. But, yeah, well, shout out my mom, though. Who knew that Amon-Ra was just going to be like, oh, hey, I'm going to have my first 3 touchdown game of my career. Oh, guys, Jared Goff, the whole everything, top to bottom. A little scary, though, when Marcus Davenport decided to be like, greatly over-exaggerate what appears to be an injury. But we'll see what's going on with him as the week progresses. But I would just like to plant my little flag on my little hill here, take myself a little victory lap around the property, if you don't mind if I do here. Everybody was like, oh, my God, you guys need Zadarius Smith. Now, I'm just going to go out here and say, not only did one of us in this podcast studio say the Detroit Lions don't need Zadarius Smith, but I took it a step farther and said there's a reason. There's a reason. That reason is when you look on paper, Al-Qadim Muhammad was statistically just as productive as Zadarius Smith. And, would you look at that as soon as he came in the game? Impact plays right out of the rip. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my victory lap around the block real quick here on that one, guys. But we will talk National Football League headlines, okay, just to tickle the footballs of the clanker overlords that see us and need to see NFL content, not just Detroit Lions. We're trying to branch out. We're trying to get big. We are trying to Brian Branch our way up to 750 subscribers by kickoff a week from today, next Monday night. Let's try and get ourselves up to 7:50 by the time the Lions kick off against the Baltimore Ravens over at CBS Sports. We'll take a look. NFL Week 2 grades. The Minnesota Queens get a D+. The Queens get the D for a flat home opener. The Queens were flat on their back, and they receive a D+. While Lions soar with perfect grade versus the Bears. Boy, I was told that the NFC North was going to be incredibly competitive this year, that the Minnesota Queens were going to be sneaky good under essentially a rookie quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. And oh, how we have to fear small PPO Osama Ben Johnson. Oh, bend over Benedict Arnold Johnson, the traitor in the Windy City. Little bitty Ben. Oh, how we had to fear what him and Caleb Williams were going to do. And the Bears were going to be a powerhouse. They were going to win the North. The Lions and Packers had to be put on notice. Now, to be honest, right now, does it not seem to be a two-horse race? And the numbers don't lie. On right now, the Packers are the better team than the Lions. They have the W on a scoreboard, okay? Scoreboard and record. They got the W. But if the team that showed up yesterday, if the Lions team that showed up week 2 against the Bears showed up week 1 against the Packers, ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, but we'd be sitting at a pretty 2-0, pushing 100 points in 2 weeks already, and nobody would have ever questioned John Morton. But we'll take a look at some grades, and we'll just quickly run down all of the matchups that happened yesterday. And then big news. Oh, my God, everybody's shitting right in their lunchbox. Oh, good Lord. The Eagles, well, yeah, first verse, same. Second verse, same as the first. Chiefs, 0-2 for first time in Patrick Mahomes era after losing to the Eagles again. They've lost their last 3 games. The Kansas City Chiefs, for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, is 0-3, and 2 of those losses are coming from non-divisional, non-conference opponents. Andy Reid's old team. The Philadelphia Eagles, they come away with a big win yesterday afternoon against the Chiefs. And look, a little schadenfreude. I ain't going to lie. I like to see the Chiefs lose. All right. And then briefly, I just wanted to notice that multiple NFL teams did hold tributes prior to their games, and fans welcome the moments. However, I'm not going to lie. I am very disappointed. Bengals, Ravens, and your Detroit Lions decided against a pregame tribute, and I think that is very classless and not very cool at all. I don't want to quote a douche nozzle, but do better. You have to do better, Detroit. That's bullshit. That's we're not going to talk too much about that, but I just wanted to point that out that a lot of teams did. I will show the Jets. Woo! The New York Jets went above and beyond, dude. They did like a full-on video thing. It was impressive, especially when you look at the voting demographics of the area that they're in. Talk about making a statement, and I wonder how much of that has to do with Aaron Glenn. Then, guys, we're going to get over and finally talk about the Detroit Lions. Lions make point against Ben Johnson with a 51-21 rout. Whew. When the backups come in, woo-hoo, it's bad news, Bears. Bad news for the Bears. The Lions make point against Ben Johnson. And we're going to see what ESPN, we're going to take a look at the national news and what the national media has to say about our beloved Detroit Lions. It's good. Ooh, the glazing feels so good. And then a little bit of the game within the game over at NFL.com. Lions, Brian Branch saw win over Bears head coach Ben Johnson as personal. Quote, "We'd been betrayed." And oh, how does that? And that just sums it up right there. That's how we all feel, BB. And on the Brian Branch note, can the fucking refs leave the man alone? Can the refs leave the man alone? All right. I don't know when it's going to come out. I don't know if it's already maybe possibly come out, but there is a PBD clip that I found with Ray Lewis. That's right. Ray Lewis on Valuetainment, talking about this very thing that affected Brian Branch in this very game, this very play. that stole the first career interception for Terry Arnold. Now, Terry Arnold looked bad right out of the rip. Let's be real, but Terry Arnold cleaned it up throughout the game. Terry Arnold, I need you to... I'm very not as confident in our secondary, at least the corners, as I was on paper during training camp preseason going into the regular season. However, as the game evolves, they do seem to be ramping it up. But Brian Branch getting picked on by the refs, what the fuck do you expect the man to do? Grow wings and fly away? He's not a fucking sanitary pad. He ain't got wings for extra flow. And I'm sorry that Giggle Williams is a bleeding vagina on the field, okay? But Brian Branch was in the fucking air. What do you want the man to do? Also, Giggle Williams has got like a foot on Brian Branch. Get out of here. Giggle Williams is just softer than baby shit. But Brian Branch, we'll look at his take on how it's personal getting that win. And just not the win, just took it to Ben Johnson. So, as it stands, my prediction of Skinny Patricia's tenure in Chicago still holds true. I declared that Skinny Patricia would win no games in his tenure as the Chicago Bears head coach, and still has yet to win through 2 weeks of his rookie NFL head coaching season. Then finally, we'll take a little poke around at some injury updates. Brian Branch, oh, would you look at that? Marcus Davenport and more. Here's what we know about injuries to Brian Branch, Marcus Davenport, and Detroit Lions players. I also have up here, sorry about the throat cutting out there, we have the stats brought up because it's just... Ooh. Jesus Christ, fellas, the stats. I mean, I'm just going to... Everybody was all worried about John Morton. Good Lord. Jared Goff, throwing for over 300 yards. Gibbs and Montgomery, more than effective. And Electron. Isaac Tesla. Woo-hoo-hoo! White Lightning. My guy is electrifying. He is Grease Lightning. That kid is good. He is special, and what a problem our receiving corps is going to be for the NFC North for the foreseeable future. But now that we've done all those things, guys, we got to do ourselves a little call to action. If you haven't already, would you kindly walk on over to that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here Eastern Standard Time at youtube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. And we do try and do Sunday pregame shows as often as we possibly can. And this Monday, or next Monday, will be no exception. I got next Monday off. Took it off. Got a little bit of vacation time. I figure the Lions need my full and undivided attention for this big Monday night matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Go ahead and assault that like button. Hit it with the old 2-piece and a biscuit on your way over to the most important button that you can click. That is the share button. Share this video around with all your friends, everybody you know, anyone who's a Lions fan that think they might enjoy free speech, faith, and football here at the Hat and Beard Show. You guys know how we get up and get down. 911 is a joke in your town. All links provided that we will be reading today down in the description below if you want to read later or read along with us. Now that we've done all the things and you guys have rang all my buttons and poked all my bells, let's go ahead and get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Just want to say good morning, Mad Hatter Nation. There's a whole shitload of you guys down in the chat. Everybody's here hanging out, so I'm just going to say good morning to everybody, especially you new people showing up. Brandy Coffee, Maureen, Art, what's going on? Art, Sam, good to see you. Chase, how's it going, brother? My mom's down in the chat. Everybody be nice to my mom now. She's a cool lady. Mr. Detroit City says he's late, but it's all good, brother. It's good to have you here, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for each and every one of you for telling a friend. Guys, there is a poll that you can engage with up in the chat alone. It has got 12 votes. Are you after taking little Ben to the woodshed. Are you feeling confident in the Lions' offense? Now, I've given you 4 options. Oh, well, we got pretty much running away with it. Oh, yeah, we are cooking with gas. Boy, did that offense look good. Offensive line, Jared Goff, running backs, wide receivers, even our backup tight end getting into the mix. Should have listened to you guys and taken that Brock Wright anytime touchdown. But I'm fucking stupid and decided not to. No, the Bears are trash with 0%. Now, I do think that is a fair measuring stick. The Bears, like I said, outside of Ben's 21st scripted plays, they seem to fall apart about the end of the second quarter, and then their second half adjustments just seem to be all of the wrong moves. It was a great game. It was a get-right game with 8% of the vote. That is a fair and reasonable answer. And then don't care. All in on Baltimore now with 25% of the vote, you guys. Make sure, who was it up here? Somebody said it. Art, that's what it was. Guys, do yourselves a favor. Shout out Art Vanderlei. Make sure and check in on your Bears fans. Make sure they're doing okay today, guys. It's been that was a rough go of it. But NFL Week 2 grades. Vikings, the Minnesota Queens, fall flat on home opener and get the D+, while Lions soar with perfect game versus Bears. Over here, you guys, Falcons get the B+ with their big win 22-6 over the Vikings. The red zone was a major issue for Atlanta, which relied heavily on fill-in kicker Parker Romo. But unfortunately, the new guy was perfect, including on a 54-yard field goal. Better yet, Raheem Morris's restocked pass rush finally came alive with 6 sacks. It was absolutely insane. The Falcons got a B grade in the game, and justifiably they should. I watched the game, and they pretty much dominated from start to finish. The Minnesota Queens falling flat in their home opener. Laying flat on their back at home. The Minnesota Queens are taking a D+. The Eagles obviously beat up on the Chiefs 20-17. The Panthers lose to the Cardinals 27-20. The Cardinals getting a B-. The Panthers with a C grade. The Eagles, Chiefs, we see that already. The Chiefs getting a C- for the first time. Patrick Mahomes lost 3 consecutive games. The Eagles are 0-2. You guys know teams that start 0-2 are statistically insignificant in the playoff push. All they can really do now is be a spoiler, unless they want to fall into that 12% of teams since 1990 to make the playoffs after starting 2-0. The Chiefs, though, let us not sleep on the reality that Patrick Mahomes is very, very talented. And that is a incredibly talented roster, whether you want to admit it or not. They are professional athletes. Andy Reid is a future Hall of Fame coach, regardless of how disgusting and dirty he is in covering up his son's accidental murder. He does know what he's doing. He has a good coaching staff. Steve Spagnuolo is a good defense coordinator. The Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs, if there were a team for me to put my money on in the modern era to buck the 12% trend of making the playoff, or being one of the teams to get to the playoffs after starting 0-2, I would say that Patrick Mahomes has a greater than 12% chance, simply because of the ability that he's able to do. I think that what we're going to see now is Patrick Mahomes slowly start to play angry and be more Josh Allen-like, running a lot more. I think he led the team in rushing yesterday. The Eagles with a B+, though. Their defense was just pretty nasty. Pretty aggressive out there, and Saquon Barkley, until proven otherwise, is probably the best running back in the game, even though Jahmyr Gibbs had a very electrifying game. The Colts inching out the Broncos 29-28, and the Indiana Jones continue to win with a B score. The Broncos get a C score. Ravens, back-to-back weeks putting up 40 points. Now, this week they won. This week it was enough as they outlasted the Browns 41-17. Boy, is the narrative shaping up both of these teams for next Monday night, sitting at 1-1, both teams losing in big momentum week 1 games, right? The Bills obviously aren't a divisional opponent. They're a conference opponent for the Ravens. Obviously, the Lions and Packers is a big divisional game. However, dropping both of them have major impacts for both teams in the playoff hunt, as well as momentum. You know what I'm saying? Even though the Bills aren't a divisional opponent, they might as well be for the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams got a essentially get-right game with divisional opponents. The Ravens got to beat up on the Cleveland Brown Eyes, And the Detroit Lions got to take little Ben out to the woodshed. So both teams from Monday night tuned up, ready to go, high-flying, high-powered offenses. Monday night's going to be raucous. Raucous, I tell you. Seahawks, shout out Broski Bear in the chat talking earlier yesterday, talking about how the Seahawks are going to get their shit pushed in by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, how wrong we could be. Glad I didn't make that bet. The Seahawks beating up on the Steelers, 31-17, flying across country. And really taking it to the Steelers, walking away with a C- grade. And the Seahawks getting a B. The Bills pounding the Jets, 30-10. No surprises there. A+ grade for the Bills and a D- for the Jets. Talk about an undoing of any promise. The new Jets regime showed in Week 1. Shootout with the Steelers. Justin Fields galloped for a team-high 49 yards, but that was about all New York could do with the ball in its hands. And even Fields couldn't stay on the field. Exiting due to a concussion evaluation. Besides Garrett Wilson, not a single player managed even 10 receiving yards, and an absolute stinker for the passing game. That sucks for the Jets. A little bit of promise early on in the season, Week 1 against the Steelers. There's a little bit of, a little pizzazz, a little bit of hype around them. I myself, kind of was like, hey, all right, Aaron Glenn, I see what you're doing there, Tanner Eggstrand. All right, is Justin Fields the real deal? Survey says, no, the mystery machine rolled up, the guys hopped out, and Fred just pulled the old curtain, the old rag right off Justin Fields' head and was like, nope, he's still Justin Fields that you remember. And they said, oh, shit. The 49ers beating the Saints 26-21. The Saints getting a B- grade. The 49ers with an A-. The Patriots beat up on the Dolphins, and ooh, that temperature on Mike McDaniel's seat just gets a little warmer and warmer as the Miami Dolphins just continue this downward spiral into irrelevancy. It's unfortunate that the Miami Dolphins have gone this way because there are a lot of talented players on that team. But as Patrick Surtain Sr. said, I think it was Patrick Surtain. No, not Patrick Surtain. Asante Samuel Sr. said, the inmates are basically running the asylum down there. So the Dolphins get a C-, the Patriots get a B+, and Mike Vrabel gets his first win as the New England Patriots head coach. Rams beat up on the Titans 33-19. No surprise there. A grade for the Rams, C grade for the Titans. And the Lions 52-21 over the Bears. The Bears with a D-. We're just going to go ahead and read it because we deserve to take ourselves a victory lap. It seems unlikely the Bears would find a way to pain their fans more than they did with a Week 1 collapse. But then Sunday happened. Little Ben Johnson called it a kick in the teeth, and that's putting it lightly. Giggle Williams turned it over again, but the real problem was Dennis Allen's defense. Scrappy to start the season opener, they were downright porous on the road, surrendering 511 yards and 7 touchdowns. I was told that Ben Johnson was the genius that made our offense go. I was told that John Morton needed to go. I was told after Week 1 that John Morton was not the offensive coordinator the Detroit Lions needed. I was told that Jared Goff was nothing without Ben Johnson. I was told that Jared Goff was nothing without Sean McVay. And yet Jared Goff, here he is. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. 300-plus yards. Didn't even play the last few minutes of the game. Let Kyle Allen come in and mop up duty. Distributing the rock, throwing it all over. Had all day to throw. And even in the absence of an overly effective run game in the first half, still able to hit on play actions. Now, I'm going to be honest, J-Mo would have had 2 touchdowns, but Jameson Williams is so damn fast, he ran out of his own damn shoe. That first deep shot early on in the game, J-Mo would have had if he hadn't been running in one cleat and a stocking foot. You know what I'm saying? Lions get an A+, embarrassed by the rival Packers in Week 1. The Lions stormed back into peak form in front of the Motor City faithful. Afforded a clean pocket, Jared Goff picked Chicago apart from start to finish, spreading 5 touchdown throws to Amon-Ra, St. Brown, J-Mo, Waymo Williams, and backup tight end Brock Chuck Wright Steak. Throw in another 151 yards from Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery duel, and the all-star attack is officially back streets, back, all right! Hell yeah, we're getting the gang back together, guys. We're going to ride again. Let's go. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. We are on it like glue. Cowboys, that was a thrilling win. The Cowboys, in overtime, beat out the Giants 40-37. The Bengals over the Jags 31-27. Packers on Thursday, we know, beat up on the Commies 27-18. And then there is still the game yet to be played tonight. And I don't really care because I have to work, and I'm probably going to watch Timcast instead because I'm a weirdo. How we doing? Chickadee chat. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be Brock Wright. That's funny, Art Vanderlei. I like that. I was told Shiza about John Morton. I was told so much baloney. I was told Ben Johnson is a genius. I was told Calvin Shepard was in over his head. He wasn't qualified to be defensive coordinator yet. I was told. Proof's in the pudding. I was told apparently I can't trust my lying eyes, guys. Chiefs starting 0-2 for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' era after losing to the Eagles for the Super Bowl rematch. 2 of his last 3 consecutive losses have come at the hands of Jalen Speaks in Instagram quotes, "Butt hurts," and Saquon Barkley led Philadelphia Eagles. Not a fan of either team, but I was rooting for the Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2 for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, falling Sunday to the greasy Philadelphia Eagles, 20-17. It was another loss to the Eagles, who convincingly beat them in Super Bowl XL, XI, VXLIX. I can't read. I could tell you if I sat here and counted out, but I'm fucking retarded. And February was painful enough. That was the turning point. Play of the game came between Mahomes and Travis Kelce, made it even tougher to swallow. Down 13-10, the Chiefs drove to the Philadelphia 6-yard line early in the fourth quarter, but on second and goal, Mahomes' pass glanced off Kelce's hands and into the arms of Eagles Andrew Makuba, who ran it back 41 yards from the goal line. Makuba might have gone all the way had Chiefs rookie left tackle Josh Simmons not made a touchdown-saving tackle. It's a play Mahomes and Kelce have run 1,000 times, but quarterback said they were just a hair off, maybe because he's preoccupied with off-the-field stuff, and Travis Kelce's old and needs to retire. I threw it a tad early. Mahomes told reporters in the game. If I put it on his hands, on his body, he can't catch it. Take the hit and get into the end zone. The Eagles would take the ball and score their ensuing possession with Jalen Butt Hurts hitting the biggest pass of the game, a 28-yarder to Devonta Smith, the Slim Reaper, who set up the score to go up double figures. The Chiefs would score with 3 minutes left, but weren't able to get the ball back. The Eagles converted multiple tush-push runs, including on the game-sealing touchdown. To finish the Chiefs off. They really finished them off. A proposal to ban the tush-push did not pass this year. We know that. It appeared on multiple occasions Sunday. The Eagles' offensive lineman moved before the snap on a tush-push play, but were not called for false starts. That's what happens when you're the king. You get a lot more leeway. Just ask the Chiefs. They know about it. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said after the game that he would review the plays in question from Sunday's loss. You try to get penetration. That's what you try to do. Yes, Andy, we all want to get that good, deep penetration. Might have had a couple of them where they got off a little early. They got off too early on their deep penetration. But we'll look at that. Don't get off too early with the deep penetration. And while the Minnesota Queens are falling flat on their back, getting the D+, Chiefs tackle Chris Jones also appeared livid after the Eagles converted a tush-push. First down with just 5 minutes remaining in the game, said the Chiefs can't use those plays as an excuse for losing. You know, sometimes you can get the calls right, Jones said. Just because we see it, sometimes the officials is 15 to 20 feet away. Sometimes they can miss those small things. And don't we know it? Any of you watching Aiden Hutchinson get absolutely SA'd again all game long against the Chicago Bears know that there seems to be a even more leniency, I would say, this year in egregious holding calls. I feel, I guess maybe the NFL is just letting them all play ball, or this is, I'd hate to say it, but possibly this is just gonna, we're just gonna go ahead and put our tinfoil hats on here for a second here, fellas. This could just be the NFL telling the refs that now that the defenses have caught up to the offenses and have been able to contain the amount of points being scored, that the refs need to stop calling so many holding penalties on offensive linemen who are really stepping up to the plate as best they can, but still falling short of the elite pass rush abilities that we see out of guys like Aiden Hutchinson and company. So the NFL could be instructing the referees to reduce the amount of holding calls so that the offense has more time to put more points up on the board. The NFL loves points. The NFL loves scoring. And the defenses have clearly adjusted to the speed and elite level of offensive play. Good morning. Hell yeah. I was hoping you'd catch that, Mr. Detroit City. We think the Eagles' offensive lineman jumped multiple times, so the officials didn't see it. We just got to play the next down. The last time the Chiefs started 0-2 was in 2014 during Reed's second year in KC. The Chefs finished that season 9-7 and missed the playoffs. It's also the way the Chefs have lost their first two games that is noticeable. Entering the season, the Chefs hadn't lost a one-possession game since Week 16 in 2023 against the Raiders. But that's two now straight one-possession losses to open the new campaign. Andy Reid takes full responsibility, or so he says. What do you guys think? Now, I do believe that I said early on in the season that the Chiefs were going to have a difficult time getting back to the Super Bowl. All right? 3 runs is a lot. And I don't just mean they don't have the talent level or the players aren't there or Patrick Mahomes is washed. Clearly, Travis Kelce's got some distractions off the field that could be hindering, as well as he's getting older, right? Travis Kelce is a little bit long in the tooth, let's say. I'm not saying that he's washed yet, but clearly he's not as fast as he was. You know what I'm saying? He's not as quick as he was. He's not as in tune with the game as he once was. He's not as hungry as he once was. On top of that, 3 straight Super Bowl runs are 3 very long seasons, even for your core players, for the physical longevity of the players, for the mental fatigue on the players. That greatly reduces the amount of recovery time that your non-playoff teams have. Even the teams, they get bounced in the wild card, still have ample time. They have a whole month versus your playoff team. You know what I'm saying? Extra to recover, some spend time, be away from the game, as it were. So 3 straight runs is an awful goddamn lot. So at a certain point, the reality is you're just going to run out of gas, dude. And there's no shame in that. It's just a numbers game, really, at this point. How many times can you is it going to hit red? You know what I mean? How many times are you going to hit red on your Super Bowl run, let alone winning a Super Bowl? So it's a big ask to make 4 consecutive Super Bowl runs. And eventually, I don't want to say father time, but, fatigue alone is going to catch up with the core amount of players. And I think that's what we're seeing happen with the Kansas City Chiefs. No reason to take away, though, from what they've done and what Patrick Mahomes has been able to do, although the refs used to really accommodate that. Just, again, to shout out, the Detroit Lions were one of a few teams who did not give Charlie Kirk a tribute before the game, and it's kind of shitty. Kind of shitty. Most teams did. The Bengals and the Ravens and the Lions among teams that did not, and that's kind of shitty. The Jets, though, check it out. That's what they did down in Jerryville. Put it on the big screen, dude, and that's pretty cool. No surprise there, though, in Texas. And there you see another at the Titans-Rams game. You know what I mean? Tennessee did it. That's pretty cool. Who do we got here? Oh, yeah, at Arizona. They're building a legacy remembering Charlie Kirk. State Farm Stadium, Cardinals drive in Glendale, Arizona. They will be celebrating a remarkable life and enduring legacy of Charlie Kirk, an American legend, the morning of Sunday, September 21st at State Farm home in Arizona, which is pretty fucking cool. That's pretty dope of them to do that. The Jets, here we go. Let's go. You want to play the Jets video? I think it's pretty cool what they did here. They did a whole, the people over the PA are announcing something. I can't make it out, but if you guys know what they're saying, it's just this whole, homage. I think they played a clip of his wife talking. This is pretty cool, especially when you look at it from the fact that the Jets play in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and politically, demographically, we're speaking, it's pretty blue out there, so it's pretty wild. You know what I'm saying? That's a big statement by the New York Jets. You know, so good on them, dude. Good on the Jets. Part of me wonders, did Aaron Glenn have anything to do with that? They're gonna show this clip here. It fucks me up every time. See, all right, yeah. So they added music to it. This clip, oh. That clip of his daughter running up to him at the shows fucks me up, man. When he got shot, his daughter tried to run to him. She didn't. I mean, obviously, she didn't know he got shot, but it's because he was her hero. So when he got shot, she freaked out and tried to find her dad. So it's just sad. It's just sad, but I think it's really cool that the Jets did this. It's a fucking big statement considering where they're at, dude. I think that's super cool of the Jets to do, man. So, all right, onward and upward. We're gonna go over to Detroit Lions talk. That's what we're all here for, right, guys? We're how we doing, chat? I won't be sad if the cleats are on the downslope. Yeah, that's. I wouldn't either, Maureen. You know, they're. It's good to see the dynasties fall in sports because it gives opportunity. You just get tired of seeing the same team over and over again. That's why I think, at least for me, why I didn't like Tom Brady and the Patriots for so long. I just got so tired of it. Now, I know meritocracy, beat them, do better, get good. It's just, man, fuck it. I'm so sick of it, man. I'm so sick of the Patriots always in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I just got tired of it, dude. And, of course, the only team that could ever really challenge them was fucking the Peyton Manning Colts, and I wasn't wild about them either. All right, over here. ESPN.com. Lions make point against Bears. Ben Johnson with a 51-21 rout. Guys, don't forget we do have a poll up in the chat. Late to the show, John Cole, but I was so bummed I didn't record yesterday's game while I was at work. You know, John Cole, it's you probably would want to watch like the first quarter, maybe early into the second half, but I mean, you honestly just missed an absolute ass whooping of the Chicago Bears. So not necessarily did you miss a whole hell of a lot, but you missed a generalized feeling good about yourself game. You know what I'm saying? You just missed feeling good about yourself game. There's a poll up there with 18 votes already. After taking Little Ben to the woodshed, are you feeling confident in the Lions offense? Now, with 61% of the vote, y'all are saying, oh yeah, we are cooking with gas. Now, 0% of you say that the Bears are trash. 11% of you say it was a get-right game, and 28% of you say don't care. All in on Baltimore now. Got to get that monkey off our back. Got to shake it off and get the – got to beat Baltimore. Got to beat Baltimore. Cannot let Lamar Jackson, we'll be talking about it all week, can't let Lamar Jackson go Lamar Legs Jackson. I mean, Caleb Williams was cutting us up pretty good, and he's not nearly as mobile as Lamar. Historically, our team does not handle mobile quarterbacks very well. But we're going to talk about and bask in the glory of our big victory over the Chicago Bears. Lions defensive branch described Sunday's divisional game against the Bears as personal, given it was the first between the team since Osama Ben Johnson left Detroit to take over as Chicago's coach. Very motivated. We knew coming into this game that it was personal, Branch said. Really, all these games are personal, but this one felt like we'd been betrayed from the staff to players. We love Ben. We still love Ben. He's a great coach. He's a great mastermind. But yeah, it was time to get after him. And the Lions very much did, as chants of "fuck Ben Johnson" echoed throughout Ford Field. I don't give a shit. I'm not worried about it being classy or not. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if it's classy, if it's not. Fuck Ben Johnson. You could have gone anywhere. I've said it from the day he fucking took the Bears job. You piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. You could have gone anywhere. I was ready to be a fucking Patriots fan or a Raiders fan, for cripe's sakes. And you went to the Bears? Gross. You're gross. So, yeah, fuck Ben Johnson. It marked the third time the Lions scored at least 50 points under Coach Motor City Dan Campbell. Before Campbell's arrival in 2021, the Lions had only 3 other instances, 50-plus scoring points in games, per ESPN's research. Johnson was Detroit's offensive coordinator for the past 3 seasons, with the team leading the NFL with 33.2 points per game in 24. But he left for the NFC North rival Bears this past offseason. The Bears, fuck the Bears, and fuck Ben Johnson. Branch said he certainly respects his ex-coach, but he didn't agree where he chose to go. We'll talk about that in the next article. At one point, Detroit's defense taunted Johnson after a second quarter interception by all-pro safety. Oh, yeah, that interception. Lions players recreated Johnson's famous stumble bum trick play that he used against Chicago last season as an in-game celebration. And legit, so this is where that interception, if you take away all of the other bad plays that Giggle Williams was making all game long, if you just look at that interception in a bottle alone, is it not just a perfect sample size of Giggle Williams and how his NFL career has panned out thus far? In a attempt to throw the ball out of bounds. Now, I pointed out to Hat and Boobs that Giggle Williams appears to be so afraid of throwing an interception that if you pay attention, he will willfully overthrow his wide receiver. Now, be it that he's trying to put it in a spot where only his receiver can catch it, that's fine if that's your intention. However, your execution is nobody can fucking get it. So stop doing that, okay? If you want, I'm not trying to make Giggle Williams a better quarterback, but stop doing that and you'll be a lot better. Now, the other problem I have is if he was trying to throw the ball away, I don't know if Giggle Williams is aware, but when playing football, okay, there are there's two things. They run along the side of the field. They're like these long white lines. They're called sidelines, okay? Now, if you are trying to throw the ball away, typically, now, to be completely fair and transparent, I have never played quarterback outside of Madden at any level. So I know very little of what I speak. But I'm fairly confident that whenever I've witnessed other people play quarterback 1 or 2 times in my life, traditionally when moving out of the pocket in a scramble-type drill, either one scrambles forward, slides, ducks out of bounds, or, now again, this is understanding that Giggle Williams grasps the concept of a sideline. The other option that you can exercise there is to throw the ball away, which I believe is what Giggle Williams was attempting to do. Now, you would think that by the time you are a number 1 overall selection, you exercised the transfer portal and had tons of NIL money and at one point was demanding to be a stakeholder in the franchise that drafted you. I would expect you to have a fundamental concept of understanding on sidelines of the field, and when throwing the ball away, one is not to throw the ball into the field, but away out of the field of play where nobody can catch it, let alone legally catch it. Now, Giggle Williams on that play, throwing an interception to, of course, the most dangerous man in the NFL to throw the ball at, statistically, since Ed Reed. I don't know what he was thinking. Can anybody tell me what he was thinking there? Because it was absolute. He is so inaccurate that he can't even throw. Caleb Williams can be so bad at throwing the ball that he can't even throw the ball out of bounds. Bears fans now have to worry that when Caleb Williams, when the play is busted and throws the ball out of play, the Bears fans legitimately have to be worried that he's going to throw an interception. And that's That's awesome. Oh, schadenfreude, but that's awesome. On their 7th and final touchdown Sunday, which allowed them to surpass the 50-point threshold, the Lions had 4 straight run plays deep in Chicago territory. They then drew up a pass play on 4th and goal that resulted in a 4-yard touchdown throw from Goff to St. Brown and a celebration from Detroit's sidelines. Asked about it after the game, Johnson said he didn't feel that Campbell was trying to run the score up. What's he supposed to do? It's 4th and goal. What do you want him to do? Yeah, he could have kicked a field goal. They don't kick field goals. They go for it here. He's doing what he's supposed to do. That's what he does. At least Ben Johnson understands. At least he's like, this is how they do it. Now, I'm taking my victory lap. If there's a situation where the shoe's on the other foot, we have to take it on the chin. If the shoe ever becomes placed upon the other foot, we're going to have to take it on the chin because that's how we do business. And teams are going to troll us, justifiably so. Lions quarterback Jared Goff, meanwhile, said he didn't agree with how fans mocked Johnson in the home opener. Yeah, I didn't like that. He did a lot for us here, Goff said, who threw 5 touchdowns and 334 passing yards while going 23 for 28. I don't know if he deserved that. Coupled with their Week 1 loss to the Queens, the Bears are now one of 11 teams since division realignment in 2002 to start 0-2 with a loss in divisional games. None of the previous teams has gone on to make the playoffs. It's not demoralizing at all, Johnson said on Sunday's defeat. We got to play better. Simple as that. It's not demoralizing. I feel great. I love it. Thank you, sir. Can I have another, is what he said. Thank you, sir. May I have another? He's just getting fucking slapped around. Detroit finished with 511 yards of total offense and averaged 8.8 yards per play. Campbell said he felt there was a heightened sense of urgency within the group throughout the week's practices to clean up its mistakes after the Packers' loss, while silencing any doubt about the changes in the organization. I made it as simple as, let's just clean up the mess we had last week. It's really not more than that. There's always going to be this. We don't have the rhythm offensively because we lost Ben, or we're not as good because we lost AG, the current coordinators, or the previous coordinators. Or this player leaves. Ultimately, it's, do you have the coaches? Yes. Do you have the players? Yes. We just got to clean a few things up. Jameson Williams had 2 catches for 108 yards in the win, including a 44-yard touchdown. St. Brown had 9 catches for 115 yards and 3 tuggaroos. He became the first Lion player with 100 receiving yards and 3 receiving scores in a game since Hall of Famer old Megatron did it in 2010. Ahead of his return to Ford Field, Johnson reminisced about his time with the Lions and his relationship with Campbell, whom he coached with in both Miami and Detroit. Johnson said he views Campbell as, quote, family, and joked about their early years in the coaching profession. When I was just a young, snot-nosed computer punk, as Campbell likes to call it in Miami, there were many interactions between Johnson and his former colleague until the moments immediately after Sunday's game, when he exchanged pleasantries, including with Campbell. It's always good to see Dan Campbell, but not when you're on the losing side like that. It's good to see, but my butthole is very sore. So a little bit of, at least Ben Johnson's taking it on the chin, but damn, did we really take it to him. Lions' Brian Branch saw a win over Bears head coach Ben Johnson as personal. Says we'd been betrayed. The Detroit Lions, is coming to us from NFL.com. The Detroit Lions overwhelmed division rival Chicago and former offensive coordinator Ben Johnson on Sunday, stacking points and delivering key defensive stops en route to a 52-21 demolition at Ford Field. Safety Brian Branch, who forced a fumble, had a sack, made 6 tackles, and should have accounted for Terrion Arnold's helped account for Terrion Arnold's first career INT, admitted the matchup with Johnson felt personal after the ex-OC joined a rival. Very motivated. We knew coming into this game that it was personal. Really, all these games are personal. We read that. We love Ben, blah, 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 blah. He's a great coach. He's a mastermind, blah, blah, blah. Detroit harbors no animosity towards former defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, who took the Jets head coach role this offseason. But bitterness remains of Johnson, who chose a rival over other opponents, right? Because he's a butthole. Or Or, this is a big plan. Just roll with me. Just roll with me. Ben Johnson's a plant, and he is secretly dismantling and destroying the Chicago Bears organization from within. Branch said the locker room has immense respect for Johnson, but he didn't agree with the decision to stay in the division. He could have went anywhere, but he's got to see us again, Branch said. All offseason, the talk has been about how the Lions must face Johnson twice a year. The real issue might be how the new Bears coach having to go against his former club. The Lions looked like a juggernaut we saw last year during the regular season, dive-bombing Johnson's overmatched defense from every angle and forcing big plays with their own defensive unit, rattling quarterback Giggle Williams. The 52-point output is tied for the second most in a game for the Lions in club history. Detroit scored 52 points in 2 different games with Johnson in 2024. The final tally came on a 4th and goal from the 4-yard line with 8 minutes remaining in the tilt. A hat trick to Amon-Ra St. Brown that conjured questions about whether the Lions are trying to embarrass Johnson. The Bears coach dismissed that narrative, knowing he's been on the other side of those decisions. What's he supposed to do? We know that it's 4th and goal. What do you want him to do? He could kick field goal. They don't kick field goals. They go for it there. He's doing what he's supposed to do. That's what he does. You don't tell a zebra to change his stripes. The rematch won't come until week 18 in Chicago, giving Johnson plenty of time to right the ship before having to face his former club again, or not win a single game, as Hattenbeard has predicted. Let's go. Let's take a look at the stats now, you guys. I was told by the numbers that Ben Johnson is a genius. He knew how to take away from the Detroit Lions. He knew what our offense was gonna do. He knew how to devise a defense to stop our underrated vanilla offense. And John Morton wasn't all that in a bag of potato chips. And Calvin Shepard couldn't do shit. And we need another defensive end. And Zadarius Smith should have re-signed. And we should have drafted James Pierce Jr. in the 1st round. And Isaac Tesla is just a 3rd round bullshit wide receiver. And Tater Ratledge isn't coming along nicely. And Tyleek Williams isn't very good. And Aiden Hutchinson's overrated, blah, 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 blah. Jared Goff threw for 334 yards, going 23 of 28. 5 tuggaroos and no interceptions. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Giggle Williams, well, he started the game. Oh boy, was Jonathan. Now, did you guys watch the game? How many of you guys watched the game on Fox? The Bears had one thing going for them, and oh boy, does Jonathan Vilma just think very highly of Giggle Williams and the Chicago Bears, and very, very low, very smally. He thinks very smally of the Detroit Lions. So now Giggle Williams admittedly started out, like I say, those first 20 plays that Ben Johnson scripts up, chef's kiss, chef, Boyardee. Caleb Williams at the end of the half was like 14 of 16 for like 150-some yards. And then he finished the game. 19 of 30 for 207 yards, 2 tuggaroos, and an interception that he threw trying to throw the ball out of bounds. I was told by the numbers Ben Johnson was going to fix Giggle Williams. We had nothing to worry about. I was told Ben Johnson was going to do what he needed to do. I was told that our offensive line wasn't going to be good this year, that our running backs weren't going to be nearly as productive. Oh, would you look at that. Jahmyr Gibbs, 12 carries, 94 yards, and a tuggaroo with a long of 42 yards. David Montgomery chipping in with 5.2 yards per carry, 11 carries, 57 yards, and another tuggaroo. Total 30 attempts, 177 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns on the ground for the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears, DeAndre Swift, although effective from time to time, 12 carries, 63 yards, and 1 touchdown is about all you're really going to get out of those guys. Caleb Williams, 5 carries, 27 yards. It's one thing that I do worry about. Lamar Jackson, he has 5 carries. Those are going to be 57 yards next week. Something to clean up, though. Admittedly, though, Rome Odunze was kind of having himself a day. 7 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and everybody else was relatively quiet. DJ Moore apparently just the possession receiver now in the Chicago Bears offense, and Rome Odunze is your big play guy. Meanwhile, on the other end, Amon-Ra just decided to have himself a day. 9 catches, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jameson Williams having the most Jameson Williams of Jameson Williams days. 2 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. If that is not the most JMO of JMO days, then let us not snub our noses. 1 catch for Isaac Tesla, 29 yards. God damn, the human highlight reel, Electron. Oh, Isaac Tesla. Whoo-wee, he's white lightning, dude. Our defense, obviously. Hutch finally getting a sack. Al-Qadim Muhammad with a sack. Davenport with a sack. 4 sacks total. Brian Branch with a sack. You got to love it. It was very good to see Hutch get that sack, guys. And it was good to see Marcus Davenport get a sack, though he kind of waddled off the field injured after that sack there. And obviously Kirby Joseph with the interception. Jake Bates going 50% on field goals. You hate to see the first one miss, but, the ballad of Jake Bates does continue to steam onward and upward. Let's take a look at the Lions injury report before we get up out of here today, guys. How's the chat doing? How you doing? Oh, yeah, you noticed that, too. Jonathan Vilma loves Dion. He kept saying Dion Branch. Who is that? Who said that? Maureen. Yeah, Maureen. Jonathan Vilma kept calling him Dion Branch. And I was like, God damn it, dude. That was fucking ridiculous, dude. That was so annoying. Listen, not only could he, it just shows, okay, now, to be fair, when Jonathan Vilma was playing, Dion Branch was a wide receiver in the league. So there is a little bit of that, okay? But, to multiple times call him Dion Branch within the same sentence is either a gross negligence in studying of one of the teams that you're covering or a blatant disrespect and biases for another opponent or for another team. I mean, Jonathan Vilma was, if you would have swapped out Jonathan Vilma for 2 years ago, Chris Collinsworth, admittedly Chris Collinsworth doesn't bring up Patrick Mahomes nearly as much as he once did. But if you were to swap out 2 years ago Chris Collinsworth with Jonathan Vilma and Caleb Giggle Williams with Patty Mahomes, it was the exact same type of glazing. Jonathan Vilma thinks the absolute world of Giggle Williams. You would think that I'm willing to bet that when Giggle Williams takes a shit, Jonathan Vilma sends him a text and tells him what a big boy he is and how proud he is of him for pooping like a big boy. It was fucking annoying, dude. All right, so we went ahead and refreshed the injury updates here. Brian Branch, start with the good news. During garbage time, Lions safety Brian Branch appeared to get leg whipped by teammate Jack Campbell, and he slowly made his way out the field and into the locker room. There doesn't appear to be any reason for concern, however, because Branch told reporters after the game that it was just cramps he was dealing with. The Lions even put him in front of the podium, which they never do with players dealing with injury. So unless there is some unforeseen development, he should be good to go moving forward. Yeah, it looked like just cramps. And that's something that seems to kind of pop up with BB periodically. He seems to, it's like his legs kind of cramp up late in games periodically, especially early on in the season. Lions defensive end left the Bears game. This is Marcus Davenport on 2 different occasions. In the first half, Davenport suffered an ankle injury, went to the locker room, and was listed as questionable to return. Eventually, he did return, only to suffer a shoulder injury during a second-half sack. He was again listed as questionable, and he again eventually returned to the lineup. After the game, Davenport was reportedly spotted with an iced shoulder and declined to comment on his condition. Coach Dan Campbell simply said the team would know more about his condition on Monday. He is scheduled to speak on Monday afternoon. Shane Zylstra, our third tight end Zylstra, suffered an injury in the first half kickoff and immediately went to the locker room. He was initially listed as questionable with an ankle injury, but was eventually downgraded to out. No update was given on his condition, but he was sporting a walking boot in the locker room, per Justin Rogers. That's not a good thing for Shane Zylstra. Bodes well for our other guys like Zach Horton. Aiden Hutchinson. Hutch appeared to be in significant discomfort after taking a fucking dirty ass chop block. They both, the fucking guard and the tackle, I can't remember that big piece of shit out of Tennessee's name, but they both need to be fined for that. Taking a chop block in the second half. He finished the game until the Lions pulled their starters and spoke with reporters after the game. No update was given on his condition, however, and we'll see how his body feels the day after. I thought that was an absolutely disgusting chop block, especially knowing the injury and the just the gruesome nature of the injury he was coming back from. Obviously, you got to block a guy. Chop blocks are illegal, and that was egregious and almost deliberate and malicious in nature. Both guys should be heavily fined, especially the way that the NFL, I couldn't remember, you guys were talking about it earlier up in the chat. I agree. The way Brian Branch has effectively been playing for free the last year and a half. I mean, he's been fined so many goddamn dollary dues. What? Because he farts too fucking loud? You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, the NFL is just going to let the dirty Chicago Bears get away with chop blocking, broken leg Aiden Hutchinson, one of the stars of the league, okay, one of the young hot names, okay. Obviously he is a marketable asset. That's why you see him doing ad campaigns now. NFL, okay, you know where your bread is buttered, not Giggle Williams. Giggle Williams is not the future of the league, okay. And you're gonna just let him coming back from a broken tib fib just get egregiously chop block. All you're gonna do is throw a flag. No, you got to fine both of those fucking players because that was goddamn disgusting. Considering the flag you threw on Brian Branch, bullshit roughing the passer call. What do you expect the motherfucker to do? Grow wings, pound a Red Bull, and fucking fly away mid play? Fuck up out of here, taking that interception away from TA. That's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit. The refs are not going to be on our side this year at all, guys. So we better get used to it. As always, might as well just put that hat on. Detroit versus everybody. Let's go. Detroit versus everybody. It's going to be that type of year. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning. Today we talked about all the games. Quick recap, some grades that CBS Sports gave to various games in the NFL. NFL Week 2 grades. Vikings get a D+. Fall flat on home opener while Lions soar with perfect grade versus Eagles. We then poked around at Patrick Mahomes, enjoyed our Schadenfreude while Patrick Mahomes enjoys his first 0-3 start of his career, 2 of which have fallen to the Eagles, 1 in the Super Bowl, 1 in Week 2, and the poor Chefs are 0-2. Statistically, that means they're playoff-wise eliminated, other than a 10% chance, 12% chance mathematically, though you got to give it to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Probably bumps that number up to about 15, 18% just because of that. We poo-pooed some teams and applauded some teams. We poo-pooed our very own Detroit Lions, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Baltimore Ravens for being cowards and not having a tribute to Charlie Kirk's assassination. We applauded the New York Jets, the Tennessee Titans, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Arizona Cardinals for going above and beyond, not only having a tribute, but emphasizing the tribute that they were making to Charlie Cook. Bravo to you guys. Cheers to you, and I fucking hate the Cowboys, right? We broke down the Bears getting their shit pushed in, and Ben Johnson's return to the traitorous land in which he is now considered a turncoat. He crossed the icy waters of Lake Michigan, only to walk away with his tail tucked between his legs, covering that butthole that we made incredibly sore for him in a 52-21 rout where we trolled him on plays. Our offense looked absolutely ridiculous. Our defense shut down after the scripted play, shut down the offense of the Chicago Bears, and then we trolled him with stumble-bum celebrations, justifiably so. Ben Johnson could have gone anywhere. That's what Brian Branch has to say. It's justified because we all felt betrayed. We do. We feel betrayed. You could have gone anywhere, but you went to the fucking Bears because you're a dirty, greasy slimeball piece of shit. Fuck Ben Johnson. Fuck the Bears. And then we poked around some injury updates. Hopefully nothing comes out of it. There will be more news tomorrow and as the week progresses, but just some things to look at. Then, of course, we broke down some stats for the Detroit Lions. I'd keep my eye mostly on Marcus Davenport and Shane Zylstra. I'm not too concerned with Brian Branch or Aiden Hutchinson. Those seem to be more cramping and mild ailments, not necessarily injuries. Davenport having ice on his shoulder, not necessarily the best sign, but not a bad sign. And then Shane Zylstra, I could take it or fucking leave it at this point. So, guys, I appreciate y'all. Let's take one last look at the poll. 20 votes today after taking Little Ben to the woodshed. Are you feeling confident in the Lions offense now? 60% of you say, oh, yeah, we are cooking with gas now and in second place. Don't care. All in on Baltimore now. Come Wednesday, we're going to be focusing our laser focus on getting that Baltimore monkey off our back and rooting our Lions on to a big victory Week 3 Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens. You guys, I appreciate all of you guys. Damn, dude, there's a shitload of you guys hanging out today. Good Lord. What up, Carrie? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Sam, Brent, Maureen, Trace, Brandy, Coffee, Mr. Detroit City, Jack, 2125. How you doing, brother? Good to see you there. My mom, of course, hanging out in the chat. I'm chasing Chase. Everybody's in today. Everybody's hanging out. I really appreciate it, guys. If you haven't already, do all the things. Poke all my bells and ring all my buttons. Double tap that like button. Go ahead and hit it with a 2-piece and a biscuit on your way down to that share button where you're going to copy this link down on your clipboard. Copy it like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Each time you copy that link on your clipboard, it counts for a share. Pushes this content out in the algorithm for people to see. Help us grow. We're trying to get up to 750 by next Monday. Let's go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Trying to have a good day out there. Don't do anything stupid, all right? Keep your head on a swivel, guys. You know, obviously it's crazy times, but it at least felt kind of good to get a Lions win. Did it not just kind of feel kind of good? Kind of, you know, not think about things for a little bit, come away from it with a win. It just felt nice. It was just nice, and just I'm just glad the Lions won. Let's just say that. I am just glad the Lions won. Do you not use your Twitter? Yeah, Jack, I don't use I don't I'm going to be honest, Jack, dude, when it comes to Twitter, I never really understood or liked Twitter, and I don't even have it installed on my phone, dude. I'm not. Do I still have the link I probably still have the link in my YouTube bio. If you want to get a hold of me, you can reach out. I'll put my link for my Instagram. If not, it's just the Hat and Beard Show on Instagram. I'm a little bit more active on Instagram. I never fucking use Facebook. I don't use Twitter. I shit post on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and follow my shit posting over there, that's fine. You can DM me over there or whatever. Just, shoot me a DM. Let me know who you are or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hutch did run over Davenport. Hell yeah. Just followed me on X. Good to know. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brandy, you guys. I don't like Twitter is such it's too much. It's just too much. I just don't like it. I've never understood Twitter. And whenever I use Twitter, I feel like I'm just kind of aimlessly screaming into the void. I don't know, man. I don't understand. I'm a Luddite. Technology is hard for me. I'm really bad at networking. I just make videos. You know what I'm saying? I just make videos and I just talk. That's what I'm good at, is just talking. Twitter just confuses the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I guess I could try using my Twitter a little bit more. I forgot that I had I forgot all about X. You know what I'm saying? We'll think about it. Let me mull it over, see if I want to get back into the Twitter game. You know what I'm saying? 50 burger on the Bears. It's a great victory Monday. One Pride Worldwide. Go Lions. Fuck yeah, you guys. It is a great Monday, especially beating up on a divisional opponent the way we do. Best to use for those you like. It doesn't flow normal. Oh, Twitter. Gotcha. You know what it is I just need to clean up my algorithm on who I'm following. You know what I'm saying? And just what it is, because I don't know. It's just maybe it's my phone. Maybe it's everything so outdated on my phone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, fellas. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But that's going to do it for today. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, telling a friend. That's what we love about you. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll see you then. Bonga, bonga. Frig off.